Moscow, January 1985. A place of intellectual freedom and creativity.
Мы могли заниматься всем довольно свободно, всем, что нас интересовало. Этим мы отличались от литераторов, филологов. На нас идеологически никто не воздействовал.
Here at Moscow's computer center, scientists pushed their machines to the very edge of their capabilities.
I was absolutely natural hacker. And computer was what really fascinates me. You could make computer do whatever you want. Literally. You just write instruction and it follows it.
Alexei Pachitnyov's predecessors had discovered the concept of the nuclear winter and calculated the trajectory of Sputnik satellites. But Alexei's impact on history came in a very different form. In the spring of 1985, he had plans for his computer that extended far beyond its normal tasks.
I always like all kinds of games and puzzles. When I was a schoolboy, we didn't have too much entertainment that years. The games were a big part of our pleasure time. So many people play chess and other games, and we really looked in the store for some kind of board games and spent quite a time on it. That's the very well-known puzzle game called Pentomino. It consists of 12 different shapes made out of 5 squares. And the task is to put all of them in this box like a jigsaw puzzle. And it's a very well-known puzzle, and I love it very much, and I used to be pretty good in it. Let me finish it. Oops, I forget how to do it. There we go. This way, that way.
Alexei started to apply this favorite puzzle onto the computer. Something began to evolve at his terminal, but it was a painstaking process.
Несколько месяцев это была вот какая-то непонятная работа, которую фактически было не видно. Вот. На экране что-то меняется, Леша сопит, Леша ходит, там, курит огромное количество папирос.
The 5 square pieces of pentominos became 4 square pieces that fell towards the bottom of the screen. It was the player's job to rotate these shapes and fit them together. A new game was born. They called it Tetris, from the Greek for 4.
When the very first program version start to breathe, what I call, when the first pieces appear on the screen and become controllable, that was very fascinating.
И вдруг, значит, вот он позвал нас с Мишей, говорит, вот, ребят, смотрите, получается вроде бы как вот так. Вот. Да, на экране появился этот знаменитый стакан, вот, в который падали, в общем, какие-то фигурки. Я, честно говоря, сразу даже и не понял. Вот. А Миша тут же стал, значит, давать совет.
Было непросто стабилизировать скорость работы Тетриса на том компьютере, на котором он впервые был написан. Значит, здесь была моя помощь в поиске некоторого источника стабильной скорости.
Even without sound and only the most basic graphics, this first version seemed to exert an unusual power.
I did play a lot with this kind of strange prototype, and I can't stop it myself. Michael Kulagin and other people in my room asking, what are you doing here all the time? And then I let people play, and I realized that it's not myself who is cuckoo and get something wrong in the brain, because everybody who touched this game can't stop playing either.
Народ стал собираться, начал играть в Тетрис. То есть было время, когда в Тетрис начал играть практически весь вычислительный центр.
Tetris spread throughout the computer center, infecting all in its path.
Эта игра как-то произвела впечатление, то есть многие наши сотрудники увлеклись этой игрой, часто в ущерб работы. Тетрис был заметен, потому что он отличался от других игр, американских в основном, где были убийства, выстрелы, взрывы, погони.
Tetris appeals to another side of the human psyche, one bent on construction rather than destruction.
When you play Tetris, you have impression that you build something. It has a spirit of constructivity. You have the chaos coming as a random pieces, and your job is to put them in order.
But just as you construct the perfect line, it disappears. All that remains is what you failed to complete.
Тетрис – это игра с очень сильной отрицательной мотивацией. Вы никогда не видите того, что вы сделали хорошо, а на экране у вас видны только ваши ошибки, и вам всегда их хочется исправить.
What kind of get to your eyes all the time is your mistake, is your ugly holes, and that drive you to fix it all the time.
The first color version was developed in the summer of 1985, and it was this version that Alexei handed out to friends outside the computer center, who in turn copied it to their friends.
After that, kind of every place in Moscow, like a wood fire, you know. Tetris in 2 weeks were on every single computer appearing in Moscow.
The game took hold and spread, first through Moscow, then through the Soviet Union, and finally out into the Soviet bloc countries. As it traveled, it did so freely, copied from disc to disc, unhindered by commercial constraints. Here, there was no notion of intellectual property rights. Individual ideas were owned by the state, to be shared among everyone.
We didn't have the idea that the software is something which could be considered as a product or be sold or protected or whatever. Made no sense for us at all.